This is the new owner of my old house. We're in the man cave. This kind of like secret.
That's what this room is really about. It's a collection of my favorites, some of my personal items that I experienced as a fan, and then as well as significant moments in Buffalo sports history and other teams. I referenced the Buffalo Braves here. Braves' last moment in glory. Braves were in the playoffs against the Boston Celtics,
who are now the Clippers.
Who are now the LA Clippers,
yeah.
A very famous NBA team. But their start was in Buffalo for 8 years. Yep. No, I go with the Bills here. This is a championship newspaper when the Bills won the AFL championship.
And what year's that?
1964.
Wow.
December 27, 64. We're champions. The Bills won the championship. Authentic newspaper.
Great.
And of course, I touch on the Sabres, French Connection, famous NHL hockey players here in Buffalo. There's even a picture of me in the Odd, sitting in the Golds, and these are gold seats.
No way.
From the Odd.
No way. Check this out.
Lower gold seats.
How cool is that?
Probably at the time in '96, they were probably a $50 price tag for the best seat in the building.
Really? Okay.
Yep. This item here actually hung in the Sabres locker room. This referenced their championship season of 74-75. They lost the cup to the Philadelphia Flyers, but this was actually in the Sabres hallway in their locker room. Original Sabres 1970 NHL team. This is their first team picture. Here's another picture of the Odd, signed by some Hall of Famers, Hasek, Perreault, and Pat LaFontaine. I met them at a sports show in Toronto just a couple years ago. There's one of the famous Braves, Moses Malone, who only played 4 minutes in Braves history, and he is a Hall of Famer. This is his one of 2 games he played for the Braves. Autographed picture. He actually died just a couple years ago, Moses Malone.
We got some.
This is one of those flea market finds. I'm walking around a flea market, and this guy had it for sale, laying in the lawn, and it was a sign that was near the auditorium in Buffalo, a street sign directing fans where to go. The Odd is close to them, and he said that he acquired it in some fashion, and of course I couldn't pull money out of my wallet quick enough to buy the sign.
Nice.
Yep. And of course, I got some Rochester Americans. The Rochester's only an hour and a half down the road.
Yep.
They've been the Sabres affiliate off and on for over 30 years, so they're a big part of the local community as well. Some of the famous players, Jody Gage, Randy Cunningworth. There's a ticket from the last game at the Odd in Buffalo.
Really?
Yep, finale against Hartford, April '96. And I was there with a friend, and we were able to close the Odd, with 16,000 other people. Here's some, again, some more Rochester Americans things, as well as some pucks, some authentic vintage pucks from the NHL back in the day, including a lot of teams that are no longer in the league, like the Colorado Rockies, the California Seals, the Minnesota North Stars.
So, if you were to put these on eBay, how much would one of those go for?
Some of those pucks could go anywhere from $30 to $75 to $100 each. They're pretty nice. You can't just go to Walmart and buy one of those. That's
no
for sure.
way, no way. And what's the story about these?
These are actually brown seats that are from the Odd. Before they put in lower golds in the Odd, before they did the remodel, the seats in the lower area were brown. And that's what they replaced. They wanted the Odd to look like some Sabre colors, so they incorporated blue and gold.
Huh.
They painted the gray seats blue. See the original gray? Now they're blue.
Yeah.
And they took out the browns and they put in gold. Sabres are blue and gold, and that's why those seats changed colors.
So you have a full-on Sabres.
Yeah, it's like a uniform from the 91, 92 Sabres, including Dave Hannon's stick. Dave Hannon, famous Sabre, who scored that like a quadruple overtime goal in the playoffs against the Devils. And this is an authentic jersey that I bought directly from the Sabres, and gloves and pants. This is the whole routine.
And this is from the...
That's Rochester Americans.
Okay.
Their Stars and Bars model jersey.
Yeah, here's the other one.
Yep, a vintage Rochester Americans jersey from '83. Took a while to get a hold of that.
Wow. Okay. What else you got back here? These are scrapbooks?
Yeah, a lot of scrapbooks, a lot of programs.
Baseball cards. These are a lot of baseball cards,
Some
I think.
cards. That was kind of the origin of my collecting, was cards when I was a kid. I collected a lot of cards, and that's where you started to learn the names of players and cities and how to pronounce their names, things like that.
You got Bruce Smith here.
I do have Bruce and Thurman, some of the bigger Bills names. I have them autographed pictures on the wall, as well as many baseball stars too.
That was back in the day when I was living here, when the Buffalo Bills went to the Super Bowl 4 times and didn't deliver. How do you feel about Scott Norwood?
Scott's all right.
He's all right. You forgive and forgot?
He's all right. Yeah, Scotty's okay. Scotty's okay. He really feels bad,
And so lots of baseballs.
Yeah, so this is like more of my Yankees baseball wall.
You're a big Yankees fan.
Yeah, it's kind of what my family always cheered for. They cheered for the Yanks. They were winners. And my father said back in the day, that was the only team that was on TV.
Really?
It was the best team, and they were the Yankees who were on TV.
Wow.
So that's who they became familiar with, so that's who they cheered for. And, of course, we're in New York, Buffalo, New York. Nothing wrong with cheering with the New York-based team.
Exactly. Okay, and so over here, you got the famous Jim Kelly jersey.
Yeah, Jim Kelly autographed jersey. I picked it up a few years ago. It's pretty hard to have a Buffalo sports room without some Kelly memorabilia in it.
Exactly.
Again, it's Randy Cunningworth. That's a Sabres jersey from 1981. So we're talking the first 11 years of the franchise history. So that's how old that jersey is already, considering where Sabres are nearing 50 years old already in the franchise.
And here's a little piece of the odd.
Piece of the odd. It's a piece of the odd. And of course, I have ticket stubs from the Fog game and from the NHL All-Star game that was in Buffalo, I believe, in 1978.
Got some Pittsburgh here. I have a lot of Pittsburgh fans out there. Looks like he's giving some love to Pittsburgh here.
And again, like in the sports team, you cannot ignore Mario Lemieux. You cannot ignore the Pittsburgh Penguins. And that's a pennant. It's autographed by the 89 Pittsburgh Penguins, and it includes Mario Lemieux.
Wow.
And, of course, Paul Coffey, 2 famous NHL players.
You got a lot of hockey sticks up here.
Yeah, game use sticks are up in the ceiling. Some of my favorite guys, not necessarily stars, but guys that I liked. And like I said, that's what the room reflects. My favorites, as well as stars and other teams and in a variety of sports.
And so this is, wow, a lot going on in here. This is gorgeous.
Yeah, I do. I put a lot of little knickknacks in there, little oddball things that I pick up. A lot of neat stuff. Autographs of some of the Sabres legends like Danny Gare and Gilles Perreault. I've got Danny Briere from the Sabres in there, an autograph. And of course, novelty items, those bobbleheads.
This is a serious collection. Now, you want to drop some names all over the floor or what?
Yeah, I got jerseys from a lot of the greats. Buffalo Sabres, Perreault and LaFontaine, Dominic Hasek. Into the black and red era, Danny Briere, Miroslav Shatan. And of course, Rochester American, great players too.
Montreal.
Yeah, the Montreal Forum. These seats, actually, I sat in these seats for a game once in 1995. When they were tearing the building apart, gutting it, the seats were for sale. So I called the building, called the Forum, and I asked if I could buy one. And lo and behold, I decided to ask for section 404, seats 14 and 15. And they said they're available, and they sent them to me.
Wow.
So and they've been here ever since. They've been here since '96 in my collection.
This is amazing.
Again, Cunningworth is always one of my favorite guys, one of the classiest hockey players that I've ever met.
Why'd you like him so much?
When I was a kid, he was one of those names that, as an 8-year-old boy, you read his name in the newspaper, and because he wasn't a star like Perreault or Danny Gare, I kind of started, to veer towards the lesser names. I gave some of the lesser names more attention, and he became, a solid, 18-year NHL player. So hardly a lesser player.
I wonder if you can grab that Buffalo Braves ball down. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, actually, there's I've got a Buffalo Braves bowling ball too.
Oh my goodness!
So this is kind of a neat one. It's undrilled, a little bit dusty, but
undrilled.
But it's kind of neat.
It's beautiful.
It's got the original Braves logo.
Yeah.
The original Braves. And the other one is, it's like a kickball.
It's like a kickball. It's very, very cool.
Yep.
And so tell us about this awesome case.
Again, I put my Buffalo Braves stuff, my oddball Braves collection in here. This is actually the first ticket stub from the first Braves game that ever took place.
Holy cow.
So it's the birth of the Clippers franchise. That's what was the date of that game? October 14th, 1970. The Braves opened up their franchise history against the Cavaliers at the Odd in Buffalo.
So are you a Clippers fan as well?
If I'm looking at stats or if I'm going to watch a game, I would probably pick the Clippers. I would definitely navigate towards them.
You like Doc Rivers?
I do.
Blake Griffin?
They're awesome.
Really? Okay, great. Good. That's good to see. So you actually watch Clippers games?
I do. A few times they wore Braves uniforms in a game.
Yeah, they did.
They wore Buffalo Braves uniforms, and of course I got a bunch of phone calls that day to.
Okay, and you got more hockey sticks over here, and
Those are all game use sticks that I've collected from various venues that I've purchased. A lot of the old wood style.
and so can I touch this?
Yeah, that's an old vintage glove.
Wow, check this out. Tell me a story on this.
Yeah, it's one of those oddball finds. You know, I'm at a show and somebody had that for a couple dollars, and the mitt is in incredibly good condition. Like you can imagine, like, you know, a Babe Ruth or that era of players using a glove like that in the field. Very hard to catch with that. You have to use two hands really at all times.
Yeah?
Yep. Yeah, you almost like a.
I know. Doesn't it kill you when these players get out there and they just don't use two hands and they drop it? Ah! Drives me crazy. Drives me crazy.
Right.
Okay, so and these chairs.
These chairs are actually they're old box seats from Offerman Stadium where the Buffalo Bisons played baseball in the up to the 1960s, from 1924 into the 60s. And there's currently a school on the site, but it was demolished, and the Bisons then moved to War Memorial Stadium to play ball.
And so you have one more picture in there, right?
Sure, yeah. You go take
Do you
a
want to
look.
grab that? You like that a lot.
Yeah, I'll bring it right up.
Okay. How cool is this? How cool is this? Okay, this is like, I'm fanning. Okay, I'm fanning over Phil. Okay.
This is actually, I have this hanging in my bathroom. It's a picture of Robert Redford. A real nice shot of him. This is probably taken at War Memorial Stadium in Buffalo, but he is filming The Natural, the 1984.
Yeah, it's kind of glary.
1984
Maybe tip it
scene.
down a little bit. Yeah, tip it a little.
Do you see it
You
good?
see it glare. Yeah. Wow.
And of course, anybody who knows anything about Buffalo sports, you know, referencing The Natural it always comes up.
It sure does.
Always comes up. That's when the stadium really got a nice new makeover because of the filming of that movie.
That's why I thought you were maybe going to have some chairs from that.
Here, I have a stadium from War Memorial, a seat from War Memorial.
So that's it, right?
And I actually have a little plaque in there. I wrote down Knights Field from The Natural because that's what the stadium was called in the movie. Knights Field. I'm saying.
Hopefully I'm part of the clique now.
Yeah, Becky's in the clique.
Yeah, Becky's in the clique.
Okay.
Buffalo Bills. All right, Bills Mafia, baby.